Welcome everyone to this week's episode, and I am joined today by a very special guest over in Canada. The lovely Jesse Holmes is going to be talking to us about something that is very close to my heart as someone who is incredibly organized and efficient. We're going to be talking about procrastination, performance, productivity, and how you can actually achieve your goals, hopefully a little bit easier. So, Jesse, I will hand over to you to introduce yourself, and then we will dive in with some questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Victoria. So my name is Jesse Holmes. I'm a high-performance coach. I help entrepreneurs with mostly three things: clarity, flow, and leverage. A little bit about me. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 16 years old. My last business, I built up to 8 figures selling supplements in the offline industry. Things have changed, and now I'm going online with my own personal brand, helping other entrepreneurs with their clarity, flow, and leverage.
Yeah, I love that. And yeah, fellow baby entrepreneurs, I call us when we start at such a young age. What was your very first business, Jesse?
Very first business was eBay business.
Love it. Of course, we are the eBay kids.
That's right.
I love that. So what's made you decide to switch your business now and come into the online space? What's made you make that transition?
So I started online, did that for about 10 years, and then hopped offline for about the last 9 years. So I was doing a lot of print media advertising. So newspapers, magazines, direct mail. I spent over $5 million in print advertising, helped selling my supplement business, scaled up to 8 figures in business. And then about 330 days ago, I got a text message from my media buyer saying that, hey, so-and-so, they just got hit with a big bill from the feds for $4.9 million. And I said, time to pivot. So
that'll do it. Yeah, that's a good enough reason.
Yeah, so I luckily didn't get a slap on. I got a little bit of a slap on the wrist too, because just the industry is a very high risk industry, very regulated. I had a little my slap on the wrist felt nothing compared to the $4.9 million. So I'm like, I'm going to take this as a lesson, and I'm going to pivot, and I'm going to go online with something with my own personal brand, something a little less high risk, and something that can tap into my expertise with the lessons I've learned over the last 19 years of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, definitely. And, everything is a lesson, isn't it? And I think that the things that you do learn as an entrepreneur are amazing as well. So you help people with achieving their goals and without falling into that procrastination and like overwhelm traps that we're all probably really familiar with. And how did you sort of come to understand that on a personal level?
Oh man, my first 10 years of business were way different than my last 9 years of business. I had an incredible mentor for the last 9 years who really beat out of me the importance of taking action, what to focus on, how to actually gain clarity, how to get like more work done in less time, and how to focus on like the high leverage habits that really make a difference in your life and business. And he just really was an excellent mentor to me. And so I just took all those principles with me, and now I'm bringing them to my own coaching business.
I love that. And I found that people often with like the clarity piece, it's like we wait for clarity. Mm-hmm. And I don't know about you, but I find like you get clarity when you take action.
Right.
Like you can't get it from just waiting. And I see that.
You're stealing the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, absolutely. So I say that clarity doesn't come from knowing what to do. It comes from doing what you already know. And when you take those movements and those steps, that's when things get more clear, not just by sitting around and thinking, what should I do? And trying to get it all perfect in your brain.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? And I think with a lot of things, like we know what we do, we want to do, and what we should do, and but it's the doing it that's actually going to help. So what else do you think people get wrong, like when it comes to like goal setting and staying motivated?
Yeah, they try to use external factors. They try to use shiny objects or inspiration or things that kind of like spur up that feeling of, oh, I can do it. And they take this quick burst and they either burn out or they stop or they don't stay consistent. They use, like I said, external factors instead of internal factors, instead of like habits and practices and your character to take you towards your goal, instead of, I want to be a bajillionaire with the Maserati, all that kind of stuff. And like, I can do that totally because someone else did it. Now I can do it. And they use that as motivation to try and get closer to their goals. And then what happens is they do it for a couple of days, or they burn out, or they don't stay consistent, and then they get distracted with something else. Yeah. And then they go down another rabbit hole.
Yeah, so easily done. And love that you mentioned that, because I talk about expanders a lot, like seeing someone who's achieved something similar to what you want. Like that's amazing because it shows you that it's possible. But, we can try and replicate what we see someone else do, but we don't have their energy or their frequency or their identity or any of those really key things.
Mm-hmm.
So we could do exactly the same thing and we'd get very different results.
That's right.
And yeah, I find that people just get really stuck in that. So how would you say for our listeners who want to get away from doing that, they're finding that they are in that external sort of reliance and they want to shift? How would you help them? What would you say?
So the biggest shift comes for me is, like I said, clarity, deep work, and high leverage habits. So the first shift comes, again, not from knowing what to do, but doing what you already know. Picking like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just got to get it going, and you got to develop the ability to get to task quickly so you get more done in less time, not only in your business, but in your own life.
Yeah.
And really building your ability to focus and expanding the ability to focus. And a lot of people will take, like, I'm going to chunk off hours of time and try to focus on deep work and things like that. But it's like a bodybuilder or a person never been going to the gym before trying to go into the gym and lift 200-pound weights. That's not how it happens. You got to start extremely small and build your capacity to focus, to build those habits, and to actually, take action and get moving.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that is something I see a lot as well, and probably more so, like, my husband has ADHD, and I know a lot of our listeners will have neurodiversity needs as well. And yeah, when we say, oh, just focus and just like concentrate on a task for like this amount of time, and it's like you're asking like a mountainous task for a lot of people. So yeah, breaking that down, I think would definitely assist. And have you found any clients that do have like neurodiversity or ADHD? Is there anything that you would recommend to them that's a little bit different?
I think ADHD is almost a prerequisite for being an entrepreneur, to be honest. But
Oh, absolutely. He's brilliant. I'm like, why are you still in employment? What are you doing?
So I think it's almost like you kind of almost have to pass the ADHD test to be an entrepreneur. But it's about, well, there's a couple different factors for reason why. There's so much opportunity, there's so much possibility, there's so much that we can do as entrepreneurs. There's so much more on our shoulders and responsibility. So there's that pressure on top of that availability and opportunity that kind of combines together and keeps us all scattered.
Yeah, for sure. And what about for those of us that say like, oh, I'm lazy, or like I'm inconsistent? Like what's really going on underneath that, do you find?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just we haven't learned the practice of it. It's there's no such thing as a good habit or a bad habit. It's just a habit that gets you the result that you do want or the result that you don't want. So if your results are, I'm inconsistent, okay, well, we just haven't built the practice of being consistent. And something I teach and use, and it's completely changed my life, is understanding that whatever I'm trying to achieve or do, it's not an event. It's got to be a lifestyle. It's got to be something that you can easily and enjoyably make part of your personality and your identity on a daily basis. That's the only way I'm going to be able to stay consistent, is if I identify as a consistent person and say, I'm a person that does it every single day, no matter what. And the only way I can do that is not just by telling my brain that, but making sure that the task that's important is able to be done every single day, to be able to get rid of those excuses. I'm saying, okay, I'm only going to do 10 minutes a day on this task, but I'm going to do it every single day. And that's going to stack my wins and build my momentum.
Yeah, brilliant. I love that way of thinking as well. And it's like having the compound effect, isn't it? And I don't know about you, but I found like when I get consistent, like in business or like a certain task in business, it almost creates like a snowball. And then I'll be more consistent, like going to the gym or like with like my nutrition and stuff. Like it's that compounding effect, isn't it, into different areas of your life as well.
Absolutely. I believe how we do anything is how we do everything. And for myself, what I consider a high performer is someone that isn't just successful in one area of their life and everything else is in shambles. You hear a lot of stories of people that got millions in the bank and are broke either with their relationships or this, that, and the other thing. I believe a true high performer is the ability to grow in every area of their life, whether that's personally, relationally, spiritually, physically, nutritionally, and in their business.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really lovely distinction as well between like the high performer and almost like an overachiever who, yeah, they're achieving in one area, but then what's happening elsewhere? Like what's the cost or the sacrifice that they're making?
That's right.
For sure. So how would you say for someone who is perhaps quite overwhelmed, potentially getting burnt out a little bit, maybe they're juggling like work, family, a business, how can we tell the difference between needing to rest and avoiding responsibility?
That's a great question. So when you rest, your brain screams at you and says you shouldn't be resting right now, that's probably because you're on the verge of burnout. And it's actually a sign from your brain saying that that's exactly what you need. So I give the example of, imagine you walked all day and then you get off your feet and your feet are hurting and screaming at you. That's not your body telling you that you need to keep walking. That means is you've already been walking and you're already burnt out, so you need to keep resting.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that example because we can all relate to that, can't we? But yeah, why do we not then listen to that, and we can be our own worst enemy and think, oh no, I have to keep going, and I should be doing more. And it's that hustle culture, isn't it? Which is something that I just try and steer us away from massively. Like, hustle and hard work to me are completely different things.
That's right.
And you probably found that yourself, having like multiple businesses as well. Like, it doesn't feel like hustle when you're working hard and you're enjoying yourself.
That's right. That's right. And there's diminishing returns too. And when it comes to like real growth, and if you want to grow in every area of your life, there's no way I can spend 8 hours a day doing this and this and this and this and this. There's been a number of different things where I'm like, oh, I want to get better at whatever. Especially this was true when I had my first son. I'm like, I'm gonna have a lot less time now. How am I going to focus in on getting the things that are important done? And I found that when I spent like 4, 5, 6 hours trying to get better at something, it didn't get me nearly as much results as if I picked and focused on the high leverage activity and did it consistently, just for a few minutes, focused every single day. That got me so much farther and better progress and results than burning myself out trying to do everything that I thought was important.
Yeah, it's moving the needle, isn't it? And it's just that focusing on that one thing that's actually going to make a difference. Right. Because I think we like the shiny objects and we like the busy work, that actually, is it really making a huge difference?
That's right. That's right.
Big question. What would you say to people who are, and this was absolutely me like 12 months ago, like stuck in that busy work and not able to like delegate it or like release control of it? Like, what would you say to those people?
Yeah, I believe that comes as a result of not knowing what moves the needle or what I should be doing to move the needle. If I think I'm the only one that can move the needle and I have to do everything in order to do it, it's so hard to let go of that control to someone else, because they're not going to be able to do it as well as I am and things like that, right? And so getting really clear on, okay, what is the one thing that if I did every single day would have the highest leverage and impact in my life and my business? And by doing that and knowing what that is, and then staying consistent at it to a point where you start seeing that progress, that eliminates some of that stress and anxiety of I need to do everything and no one else can do it.
Yeah, for sure. I could totally relate to that. And there'll be a few people listening that are, self-proclaimed control freaks, and entrepreneurs. Very often we try and grip, and we're not necessarily like the most natural like managers of people, because we just want to do it because we feel like we're superheroes.
That's right. That's right.
Did you find, as you grew your business from like 5, 6, 7 to 8 figures, did you find that there were different things that sort of moved the needle and were more beneficial for you to focus on as you grew?
What was really nice was that it was more the better I got at moving the needle, that's where the scale came from.
Okay.
So many people say like, oh, I did something right, now let's do something else. It's like, no, when I stretched my ability to stay focused on that one thing, the scale and the growth came from staying consistent, staying focused on it. And then I was able to outsource or add other pieces to it to build it up and things like that. But really my ability to know what it was and stay focused and consistent at it was the biggest thing that was able to take me from 5, 6, 7, 8 figures like quickly, because I stayed honed in on that high leverage impact activity.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's a key thing. And I've certainly fallen into this trap of wanting to do so many different things. I think I definitely have the shiny object syndrome, and I get bored and I get restless. So I don't necessarily always want to focus on like one thing or one offer or, one service or one person. So for anyone else who's kind of like me in that sense and wants to have like a really diverse portfolio, what would be your best advice to them?
My best advice would be find the one that like gives you the most, that lights you up the most. The thing that if you did every single day wouldn't like burn you out or drain you or make you feel boring. Boring is okay in that sometimes you don't want unpredictability in business because that can be really scary, right? And you want to be able to automate not only your business, but yourself, and making sure that you're able to manage your own energy so that you can stay the course and understand that this is a marathon, it's not a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is it's finding that one thing that comes easier or more enjoyably to you than another thing, and finding that really unique ability and the thing that really speaks to you and makes you feel good, and focusing more on that, and then being able to either automate or delegate the other things.
Yeah, definitely. That's where that hard work then doesn't feel like the hard work again as well, isn't it? Which
That's
is
right.
great.
That's right.
I love that. Do you think there is a particular trap, either a mindset trap or an energetic trap, that keeps people sort of stuck and staying in that state of overwhelm even when they know what to do? Do you think there's
Yeah.
a trap?
Yeah. In my belief, it's a habit of spending more time thinking and less time doing. Do you know what I mean? Like if I spend hours trying to run it through and perfect it, and I'm overwhelmed, it's probably because I'm not moving, or I'm moving in every direction and at 1,000,000 miles an hour, instead of saying, okay, what's the one smallest little step? Like, because direction's more important than speed. Like it's better to be going slow in the right direction than super fast in every direction, right?
Very true. Very true.
And so it's just getting clear on, okay, the steps that I take, I'm going to start taking slower steps. And when I take slower steps consistently, getting that rest in as well, it's able to actually make progress on the things that matter most, instead of just running like a hamster on a wheel.
Yeah, I think we've all been that hamster at some stage,
Oh, yeah.
for sure. And how would you approach having like planning and structure, but without falling into that control, that need for control, or like the rigidity that can often come with that?
Like, how do you balance rigidity with flexibility?
Yeah.
Perfect. So my rigidity is very small and my flexibility is very big. So
Okay.
I'm extremely rigid on 5 to 10 minutes of X, and I'm flexible knowing that life throws things at me with other things. And so by staying rigid on the things that really matter most, the high impact things, it allows me to kind of go with the flow on other things and putting out fires and stuff like that. If I know these are my must do, this is non-negotiables, I must do this every single day, and just allows me to be more flexible, because I know I got that thing done, so I can take a sigh of relief knowing I did the right important thing.
Yeah, and that's a great example that it doesn't have to take a long time either, and that allows for life.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I think this is something that, we typically become entrepreneurs because we want more freedom. And yet we end up doing the opposite. Like, hang on a second. Didn't I start this business to get out of this trap and this hamster wheel?
That's right.
If you do catch yourself like going into like overdrive, like what's your go-to to bring yourself back?
Oh, that's such a good question, because it's so easy to get pulled in there, because
Yeah.
emotionally we could be like, oh, this needs to get done, or I'm worried about this or concerned about this, and all of a sudden now we're just stretching ourselves and all that kind of stuff. It really comes back to that habit of staying tight on the things that really matter most. So that pulls me out of that overwhelm, or that stretching out and trying to do too many things. And sometimes it's just our brain telling us we need to pump the brakes, or slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
And usually a good night's sleep will kind of snap us out of that, as long as we get back to the things that are really important consistently over time.
Yeah, sleep and a snack.
Exactly.
We're like children, just either we need a sleep
right.
or a snack, and then we're normally okay.
That's right. That's right.
It's a good reset. And how would you say that you find joy? Because you obviously enjoy this, like as I enjoy like planning and organizing, like you obviously enjoy this too. Like, how do you find joy in this as like a process, rather than obsessing about the outcome and worrying that you're actually going to get the results?
Oh, I love that you brought that up, because I believe that we're on the journey longer than we're at the destination. And if I'm miserable at the journey, that fleeting happiness I get when I arrive at my destination is not going to be a good payoff for the misery I put myself through. So for myself, it's about doing things that come easily to me, something that I enjoy, so that I'm not looking for, when I achieve this, then I will be happy, as thinking that happiness is some sort of destination. I personally believe that happiness is the way to my destination. And so if I'm not enjoying the process now, I'm not going to enjoy the process then either.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen this so many times, and I don't know whether it's a cultural thing that's been going around, and people have this goal that they want to have like their 5 or 6 figure months, and then they work themselves into the ground to get
Mm-hmm.
there,
Mm-hmm.
and they achieve it, and then they're like, oh, like there's no fireworks, there was no
Right.
champagne,
Yep.
like
Yep. Yep.
they're like, oh, is that it? It's like, yeah, actually that wasn't like the whole purpose. The whole purpose is to enjoy that process and your learnings, and the journey. And why we always rush to the end, and then we blink, and then that's life.
That's right. That's so true. Absolutely. So for
Okay.
myself, it's finding the things that spark joy on a daily basis, whether that's in how I eat or how I move, or like how I meditate or breath work or things like it's doing things on a daily basis that I enjoy, so that if like today was my last day on earth, I could be like, what, I did all of my favorite things with my favorite people every single day.
I love that. That's so important, and we can often forget that and just get wrapped up in the stuff that doesn't really matter. Like, is it going to matter in 5 years' time?
That's right. That's right.
Is it really? That's it. Is there any particular practices that you enjoy that find like do ground you when you are feeling like overwhelmed, or if you've got yourself into a bit of procrastination, any practices that kind of bring you back out of that?
My biggest practice, I think, would be actually the framework of how I do it. There's many things that are plugged into that framework, as far as, like I said, I do stretch, like yoga and meditation and breathing and all the things that I do, but it's more important like that I do it consistently, more important than what I do consistently, because honestly, almost anything will work. And when it comes to any type of either business or fitness goals or anything like that, like you could do any exercise and it'll get you there. It's not the what, it's the that. And if you're sticking to it on a daily basis, my framework of making it easy and enjoyable to stick to every single day has really been the thing that keeps me on track from preventing me from being overwhelmed or perfectionist or procrastinating.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's so important as well, because this is what I find all the time, is we're constantly looking for another like how to, like another strategy, another technique, and they're all going to work. And I found this as well. Like, I was an academic for like 17 years. I could tell you any theory, any strategy you want to know about business, marketing, or psychology. Everything's going to work, but it depends if it aligns with your energy and who you are as a human being.
That's right. And
And
the
who you
only way,
actually
the only way you can find that out is by trying it and failing it, and sometimes saying like, "Ooh, that didn't align at all. Let's try something else." Ooh, that didn't. Until you finding, like I said, clarity. You gain clarity from doing what you already know, not from trying to know everything that you need to do.
Exactly. On that note, what would be your advice for someone who wants to start either showing up more, or like they want to start a business, or they want to do something different, but they're waiting until they feel ready?
Ooh, that's a great one. Can I run you through a quick exercise?
Of course.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about yourself, and then we're going to break this down and show you how the listeners can get value out of it too.
Okay.
The first thing is, what would you say has been your biggest struggle with building momentum lately?
Building momentum, for me, probably deciding on like the most important things and not getting distracted.
Okay. When it comes to those most important things, what is the one thing that you've really been stuck on lately?
Probably automating
Okay.
a lot of things in my business.
Okay. And so just like the ability of prioritizing the fact that you need to automate, or
Yeah, I think
like
because
spending the focused time on it?
or delegating it,
Okay.
because it's not the most exciting, fun thing. So I will ignore it.
Right. Perfect. Okay. Last question. What would you say is the least amount of time you could enjoyably spend every single day, to take you one step forward to taking care of that without burning out?
Probably 20 minutes.
Think you could commit to that day in and day out enjoyably?
Yeah.
What's something that you enjoy doing in a 20-minute time frame that maybe we could link up to make sure that we stick to it?
Probably creating something. So I know like a lot of people will listen to this and be like, what, she likes doing that? But like, I like creating like my emails or my content, like the writing side of it. So I enjoy that, but that again is something that I'll only do for maybe 20 minutes, half an hour a day.
Okay, perfect. So let's try to combine those two, the thing that you enjoy, whether it's creating emails or things like that, and then tack on to it an extra 5 or 10 minutes or whatever the least amount you could do with, okay, now for these X amount of minutes, I'm going to focus on my automations.
Yeah. And that would make sense because I'd got the email content or the social media content, and then I can plug it in to schedule it.
Perfect.
Yeah, I like that. Little stacking.
Little stacking. So my principle is pretty much find the thing that, the struggle, the stuck point, and making it easy and making it enjoyable to make sure I can do it every single day. And the next step really is, okay, put in like a reminder or a calendar or write on a piece of paper or on a notes app and a thing and say, I commit to this is the least amount of time I commit to every single day. I can make it enjoyable by combining it with the X, Y, or Z. And I'm going to make sure I do it every single day, before I go to bed or whatever, and just making it a framework of making it easy, enjoyable every single day.
Yeah, I love that. Do you know what that makes me think of? Something that I used to do as well. I've not done it for a little while, but I loved it. It's kind of like linking something that I like to something that needed doing. So I used to, in the morning, like I'd get up, come downstairs, feed the cats, grab a coffee, and then I'd go back to bed with my laptop and I'd do like my post for that day. Because it was lovely, because I was like, oh, I'm in bed with a coffee and it's great.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'd just, 10, 15 minutes and it was done.
Love that.
Yeah, like that. These little ways that we can do these things, aren't there? I love that.
Absolutely.
Okay, amazing. So now you've unlearned the hustle and the procrastination and the ways that we typically operate. What does success mean to you now?
Success means to me is consistently moving one step a day towards a meaningful goal. Things that are like a higher purpose for myself, not only in business life, but my personal life with my relationships and my spiritual relationships and all that kind of stuff. That's for me is just making consistent steps every single day towards a meaningful goal is what success means to me.
I love that. I love that. And I'm going to find a last question. So as you know, we all leave a question for the next guest. So this is an interesting one, actually, for you and what you do. So what would you change about your business in its current format and why?
What would I change about business in its current format? It's a fantastic question.
It is. They're all very good. I love all of these questions that people leave for other people. I'm like, oh, you go deep.
Yeah, I someone else, I was on a pod the other weekend, someone else said it to me, and I loved that question too. It was really good. What would I change in the current format? I don't know if there's anything I would change in its current
You've nailed it already. It's already fabulous.
I wouldn't, not the format, just just the impact and the reach. Like I would change how many more people I can reach and impact. That's why I'm doing podcasts on a daily basis and things like that. So I guess I wouldn't change the what, but the how much like reach I'm able to make. So that's probably about it. But
I like that. I would agree with you on that one.
Yeah, but that just comes with time. That's not a change. It's just a stay the course kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So for anyone who wants to reach out to you, to get in touch with you, where is the best place that they can find you? Where do you hang out?
Perfect. So I have a free one-page breakout planner at effortlessgrowth.co.
Amazing.
You can go to that, put in your email address, and get a copy of that. Thank you page. You'll get invited to join me on Facebook live every single day at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I help high-performing entrepreneurs with their clarity, flow, and leverage.
I love that. I will be tuning into those as well.
Oh, beautiful.
That's awesome. And we will put all those details in the show notes as well, so people can just click and find you and connect with the amazing work that you do.
Excellent. Thank you.
Awesome. This has been brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. And I've thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Victoria. I appreciate it.
Anytime. And for our listeners, we will see you on the next episode next week. So stay tuned for our next special guest.